Hello, I'm Jack Rickard. This is EVTV. Here with my co-conspirator, Rain Noto.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Good.
Lost
Beautiful.
about 10 pounds. This
You
week.
did? Okay, 10 pounds this week.
We're
All
having
right.
spring weather, and
nice.
It's all good. Drove the thing this week.
I know. That was pretty good. Got
Yeah.
the thing running, and we got the Escalade working pretty good. We
Yes,
got a lot of wins this week, guys.
Well, let's talk about that since we don't have anything to show on them.
Okay.
The Escalade, it's kind of been bucky on the freeway.
Okay.
Ever since we changed that transmission, so I just
Yeah.
drove it here in town. It was okay.
Right.
Well, it started making some noise. We found that our idler arm on the belt on the front,
Oh, that tensioner or whatever?
had
Yeah.
thrown the plastic wheel, and it had no wheel.
It had broken apart.
So, in trying to fix it, Brad took the sensor off the bottom. He didn't know that. So
Oh, yeah. The sensor's kind of
the RPM
finicky.
sensor from the
Yeah.
reluctor ring, which normally goes on the drive shaft inside the motor, we have mounted on the front of the vehicle.
I know.
And the thing kind of taped there,
It's precarious.
So anyway, after he put it back together, it ran well, but he couldn't get that sensor to work.
Oh, the
right.
sensor to work. I know.
So we put a new sensor. Well, he shortened the belt. Now we just made up this belt from
Right.
the beginning. There's no stock thing. We made a plate on the front of it.
Right.
Put the air conditioning adapter on it, a bunch of stuff. So he just shortened it 2 millimeters. Went from a 705 millimeter to 703, and that took the slop out of the tensioner.
Yes.
And we put a new sensor, and after much cussing and carrying on,
Thing's a nightmare.
he got that aligned where we got a good signal output from it. We went out on the highway. This thing's just gliding at 75, 80.
Oh, no.
No problem. So what I was thinking was transmission was sensor.
Oh, man. That sensor's always been an issue for us, too. Yeah.
The thing, which we will show video of next week, that's been from the beginning a test bed for the generalized electric vehicle control unit.
It has. Yes.
Now, I've kind of gotten caught up in this. It's never going to end. I mean,
No.
I keep adding functions to it. Ed Clausen has kind of redesigned the hardware. We're going to have a JevQ5 here at some point.
Oh, really? Wow.
Different connector, different enclosure, more or less to get the cost down.
Okay.
And, some things like that. So the development on the JevQ is going to continue forever. I'm doing frills and stuff in the software. The reason the thing hadn't been on the road is because it's been cold.
It has. Yeah, it doesn't have a roof.
Well, we got spring here now,
Yeah.
and so we hooked up a JevQ and just drove it away first thing. And
Yes.
the website on it works very well to adjust the the throttle and
Like
the
the
brake
throttle and
without
regen and
having
all
to
that.
hook up any wires to the vehicle. You
Yeah.
just pull it in next to a laptop and log on to the website and change your variables
Yeah.
and save it and hop back in the car and go on. And so in 3 passes, I had it running extremely well.
Yeah. Wow.
The throttle and the brake feel good. So we've gone from the Siemens motor to the DMOC 645, which you could not use, and we would really only sell to somebody with a double E degree.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
If they wanted to experiment.
Yeah, play with it.
It's probably the easiest to configure drivetrain we've got in house now.
Through the JevQ website.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
that's
just
cool.
Hook up the JevQ. It's the easiest to wire with the wiring harness
Yeah,
we've
that's
got.
true.
And it's the easiest to configure of any of them. And it accommodates regenerative braking both on the brake with a pressure transducer, which we have,
Yes.
and with any kind of throttle, really. Even 2-wire throttles with
Oh,
sanity
okay.
check and everything. It'll do all that. and it's easy to configure. And at this point, I've got it where it'll turn on the brake lights on the thing if I do any regenerative braking beyond about 10 newton meters.
Nice for the
The
guy
brake
behind you.
lights come on. If it gets up to a certain temperature, the cooling fans come on. Handles the pre-charge and everything. So it's operational. You can buy it now. It works. You can drive the DMOC with it fine. We're down to cases of all the things we can do with it, and improving the hardware, mostly to get our costs down, but
Right.
ultimately to get
It's been a
yours
journey. Yeah.
down. And accommodate some, the wireless board we have in them, and I've still got some left. Is they're not going to make it anymore, so we've got to go to another one
Right.
in order just to keep doing that. And so some things like that. The evolution of the JevQ will never end, I don't think, but that's okay. You buy it and you upgrade it when we do something you like.
Yeah, exactly.
If we're doing
Just
something
take
you
that.
don't care about, you don't bother.
Don't bother. Right.
It's not going to the motor's not going to work any better or any worse. The throttle's not going to work any better or any worse ever than now. We're not going to make some great breakthrough there.
Right. About just driving the vehicle. Sure.
Driving the Siemens motor and the thing. We're working on object modules for UQM and Reinhardt and Bluetooth connectivity and getting it to work with an iPad tablet and that sort of thing.
Right.
And some of that you may want. It'll be a software download for you. And I've already done a video on how to upgrade the software.
That's right.
So what do we got in the news?
Well, we usually talk about Tesla first. Let's talk about Cadillac.
Well,
I guess
all right.
to start, we
I like Cadillac.
well, Cadillac has partnered with ChargePoint. It says that Cadillac ELR owners now can have immediate access to the 16,500 ChargePoint stations that they can sign up for free. But I don't see that free word anywhere else in there. So I guess they can charge their cars now, and they know where the charging stations are. But I don't understand.
Well, the reason you don't understand is because General Motors doesn't understand. You know a bit more about it than they do.
I know. I'm being facetious. I know.
And these guys are so lost. The head of it, the ELR program's out there just babbling nonsense about tree huggers and who buys Cadillac ELR.
Yeah.
Well, the answer is nobody.
Right, yeah. Uwe Ellinghaus, the marketing chief for the ELR.
Yeah, the marketing chief doesn't know how to sell this car.
No.
It was already pre-sold. If he would have shut up and not done that stupid commercial, it got him in trouble.
Yes, that's right.
Who buys electric cars? What's his name?
Uwe Ellinghaus. Uwe Ellinghaus.
Uwe. Here's a tip for you. Who buys electric cars? The ones that can afford it. And so your commercial wasn't that far off. If you'd have done the ALR first instead of the Volt, you would have attracted dramatically more sales by appealing to the higher end of the market, as Tesla has done. And they're working their way down market. You're working your way up market.
Yeah. In California, where Cadillac kind of gets getting beat up by the German brands.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So they got the whole wrong attitude about this.
Yes.
By the way, I'm glad you brought this up. I got to put this up. Spy shots
Oh, really?
of the 2016 Volt. Take a look at these photos.
Okay.
Here's kind of a front view.
Interesting.
Here's kind of a side view. Here's kind of a left 3/4 view. Do you notice anything about the 2016 Chevy Volt through the black and white swirls?
Right, the swirls
they use
is, yeah.
to disguise what they're doing?
No, what do we got?
It looks kind of European.
Kind of
like a European sedan.
Yeah, you're correct.
Kind of like a European sedan with a hatchback. Have you ever heard of that?
Yes, we have.
What a bizarre concept.
Yes.
It's only come up once that we know of.
Yes.
The Tesla Model S.
Yes, I know.
The 2016 Chevy Volt. These guys are brazenly like monkeys,
Just lifting it.
redesigning their car to look more like a Tesla,
Like a Tesla Model S.
complete with the hatchback.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, through the swirls.
Through the swirls. Now, last week we talked about Leaf with the Blinky network.
Yes, they did the one with what was the Blink network, which I can't remember who usurped them. Yes.
BMW, Renault, VW, and everybody in Europe, in a panic,
Yeah.
have announced the installation of 497 SAE combo plugs.
Right, the combo charger stations. Yes.
Did they announce they had installed them?
I couldn't tell.
No, they had announced they were releasing a press release. Remember, Volkswagen is involved in this. These guys are the master of the press release. There is no 497 SAE combo connectors. They've never seen 497 SAE combo connectors. There has never been 497 SAE combo connectors manufactured by Yazaki.
There you go. Yeah.
And in fact, 497 people in Europe haven't ever seen a spec sheet for an SAE combo connector.
You tell me it's a secret?
It's a lie.
It's a lie. There you go. I was trying to be nice.
Now, this week,
Jeez.
Cadillac announces that they're going to do a deal. What they're basically doing is contracting with ChargePoint to make them a charge network,
Right.
which is a huge boon for ChargePoint. I wish I had stock in them. But isn't going to scratch the itch, even kind of. ChargePoint has no SAE combi connector fast chargers.
Right. Right. That's correct.
Chevy has the Spark that can use that, and the ELR, which can't.
Man.
I don't think.
I don't know.
And
But-
all of it is a big dance around what I told you 6 or 8 months ago. If you can't answer the question, can I charge on the Tesla Supercharge network?
That's right.
And you're trying to sell an electric car, you're trying to embarrass yourself as a moron in public. And it's not just that you're a moron or that you're in public. You want people to know about it. You're trying to advertise this. That's what that act is.
That's the problem.
Right. It's okay to be a moron, and it's not okay to be in public if you'll do it privately
That's right. Exactly. That's right.
and keep your mouth shut. But if you have to have everybody know about it, this is a good move.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
This advertises to the world that you not only cannot charge on the Tesla Supercharge network, you think you've got a better idea at 240 volts,
240.
32 amps.
I know. Yes. Wow.
How's this going to go?
I don't think it's going to be that big a deal.
I don't think it's going to go. Should I buy your electric car that can't fast charge?
Not at this point.
Are there electric cars available that do fast charge?
Absolutely.
Well, guess what? Tesla just opened their 100th supercharge.
I did
location.
see that in Hamilton, New Jersey is where they did that.
Guess where they did it? Did you say Hamilton, New Jersey?
I did
What's-
say-
What New Jersey, the state that wanted to stop them from selling direct?
Ever selling a car in New Jersey.
And who would come out with an opinion on that?
Oh, I think that wasn't there a blog this week, a government website, that some little agency?
Man, who was that?
The federal,
What kind of agency would weigh in on that?
The FTC, the Federal Trade
The
Commission.
Federal Trade Commission. What did they think about this?
They think that the automotive dealers need to get over it, basically.
Take 2, whatever you like, and call us in the morning.
Yes.
It's over.
Yeah. Yeah, it's protectionist, is what they said in the blog. That it used to be a way for the automotive dealers to protect themselves from the manufacturers. That's all over. Now they want to protect themselves from any competitors. Is kind of
So
what they
it's
were.
just anti-competitive.
Yeah, and just get over it. Yeah, times have
And,
changed.
yeah, it's historically comical, but no longer applicable.
No, it's not. It was cute at one point in time, but
Right.
not,
It
not
just
anymore.
doesn't even make sense now.
No.
And once you get all the state legislators paid for them, we want you to
Right.
go ahead and pay them.
Yes, that's true.
Then at the federal level, we're just going to come in and say you're all booger.
That's right. Sorry, guys. There's a little interstate commerce going on here. It's protectionism going on.
Yeah, it's just hideous.
Yes, it is pretty good.
But I did find a couple of things interesting about that. We have 86 in the U.S., not 100. The other 14 are in Europe, primarily, where they're going after it hard, which is why the panic in Germany, VW and BMW and Mercedes and that group, they're absolutely peeing on themselves, announcing a network that is, of course, non-existent and probably forever non-existent. Europe is just completely lost on this. The Parliament has decreed no more CHAdeMO after 2018 or something bizarre, while everybody's working like crazy to put in CHAdeMO fast charge.
Right.
If there's any challenge to Tesla, it'll be CHAdeMO, not SAE. And here these guys are with this. So the arrogance, the hubris, the belief that they can simply decree what you're going to buy and what you're going to get to do. I mean, these companies have had a lot of power.
Yes, a lot of money.
But in the face of disruptive technology, they are powerless.
Yeah.
They are victims. And to continue to believe that you can simply chant mantras in front of the smoky fire, hoping for magic.
And issue press releases?
And yes, like issuing press releases, is the height of hubris. It's stunning to watch them flounder so badly.
I know.
But I must confess, this is more fun than you can really normally have sitting up.
Yeah, exactly. You couldn't do a YouTube video of this even with a squirt bottle.
No, even with a squirt bottle and a cat. You can't touch this.
No, this is pretty good.
I'm having so much fun. New Jersey ELR charge point. Guess what else happened this week?
What happened?
We had our 1 millionth visitor.
We did. I know. We did have our 1 millionth visitor.
We actually have a counter. Almost all of our viewers don't really know what it's counting.
Oh, okay.
And it's not particularly important to me to correct the vision.
Okay, sure.
It's not precisely a page counter, guys. It's a visit counter, and it kind of keeps track of who's who, which is an interesting trick because it doesn't know who you are. There's no real privacy invasion here.
No.
But it does know your IP number, and it can tell when you leave and when you come and when you come back. Doesn't tell me who you are.
No.
But it establishes kind of a unique identity for you based on your IP number, and lets me know about visits, humanoid visits, which are sort of different from page counts.
Yes.
And you have to understand that when we sort of start by surrendering 0.999% of the population,
Yes, that's right.
that we don't want downloading our video because it costs me a quarter
pay
every time
for it.
they
That's
do.
right.
It's a little different world, and I have a online service I've paid for several years, actually since I guess it was July of 2010 that this 1 million is about.
Right.
And they track visitors. I can actually get on and see you online in real time. On a Sunday afternoon, I can watch you come and go. Again, I don't know your names. I can't connect this to any particular person, but I know where you're at, what browser you use, what resolution. These are all kind of important to video guys.
Yeah, oh, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
And more importantly, where you came from, why you came there, who sent you, and if you're a repeat offender or simply a new
Or
looky.
a newbie. That's right.
And of course, what we like is repeat offenders. We're more about engagement than we are about numbers. I want people that come back a lot,
Right.
and I'll trade one of them for, say, 11 million
Yeah, that's right. Just dropping by.
internet flybys.
Yeah, that's right.
You just don't get much in the way of flyby motor sales.
No, not really. They're kind of heavy.
And so I'm going to show them a little bit
Okay.
behind the screen and under the skirts. Let's take a look.
All right.
Okay. I thought it might be interesting to take a look a little bit behind the scenes here at EVTV. This is a online service called WebStat Live. We put little getters in our pages of our website, and that allows us to track individual visits. Now, these are not page counters. It does show us the number of pages that each person goes to while they're on the site, but these are unique visits and by individuals from around the world. And we've had 213 visitors today as of about 9 o'clock a.m. We recently had our 1 millionth visit on the service, and so I thought I'd just take a few minutes and show you what I see and what you look like to me, which is kind of interesting. Here's number 1,520,000 today. This is the 63rd visit by this visitor. Now, I don't actually get to know who you are and what you're doing. I get to know what you're doing, but not who you are. You cannot hear from EVTV. A lot of our stuff is direct access. That means you have something on your menu bar, you have a link in your bookmarks. This is from Netherlands, Almere, Flevoland. Here's the IP number. There is no name. I can assign a name, but since I don't know who it is, it doesn't really work. He's using Windows 8. Chrome 34 is his browser, and he's viewing us at 1920 by 1080. This is his 63rd visit. Here's one from Vancouver, Canada. He's a return. That's his 5th visit. Here's one from Fort Union, Virginia, 2nd visit. Here's the 391st visit from somebody in Tampa, Florida. Good viewer. Thanks for watching. Here's the 24th visit from Athens, Greece. And so it goes. I've set this up so I can scroll down and find viewer number 1 million. And so let's see what that is. Maybe if they know who they are, they'll write in, and I'll give them the 1 millionth grand prize, which of course is 4 electric cars already completed. But since I don't know their name, I can't give them to them. It's number 1 million, occurred Thursday, April 24th at 2:34 p.m. It was a new visitor. It was his first visit, but he came by direct access. He came in on the evtv.me page, and he viewed one page. He's from Bulgaria, Sofia, probably Sofia, Bulgaria. And here's his IP number, Windows 7 user, Chrome 33, 1366 by 768. So on April 24th at 2:34 p.m. in the afternoon, our time, we had our 1 millionth visit. It's always kind of humbling to me to look at this presentation because of the worldwide nature of it. We're never going to have the 10 million or 100 million hits that you have on YouTube. We're a very narrow topic and actually encourage people to go away that aren't intensely interested in electric vehicles. That's by design. But to see the span of it is kind of interesting. Here's somebody from Victoria, Canada, a return. Their 73rd visit, and they were on previously 3 hours and 57 minutes before. Somebody from Siemens, Michigan, their 3rd visit. 50th visit from Odense, Denmark. Here's the United Kingdom, Bradford, a new viewer, its first visit. St. Louis, Missouri, which is just up the road from us, its 19th visit. There's New Freedom, Pennsylvania, 13th visit. But we have Saudi Arabia, Dubai, a new visitor. Ibn Buren, Germany, and that's his 92nd visit. The United Kingdom, and his 191st visit. Good viewer, thanks for being with us. On ADSL 24 Internet Limited in the United Kingdom. If your IP number is 109.224.172.149, you've just won $30,000 in batteries. And so it goes. But the international nature of this, it's truly a global internet. Here's the United Kingdom, Wakefield, a new viewer. Slopnice, Poland, his 46th visit. Here's a new viewer from Croatia. Again, the United Kingdom and Oxford. United Kingdom, Reading. And so on. Of course, we have plenty from the United States. Germany, Rottenburg, his 2nd visit. Uppsala, Sweden, number 373rd visit. Now that's too many visits. That's got to be Chris, our webmeister. Nobody comes here 375 times. Here's the Netherlands, new visitor. And so Ireland, Ennis, Ireland, his 4th visit. Denmark, a new visitor. And so it's kind of interesting to look through this and see the mix of people from all over the world that come to see EVTV. And of course, gratifying to me, and the reason I pay for this service and have it, is this where I can tell about repeat visits of we don't care about the 4.7 billion people on the internet. We do care about someone who's been on 129 times and was just on 16 hours and 57 minutes before, from Sechelt, Canada, in British Columbia. Here's the Russian Federation, a new visitor. Visegrad, Italy is a new visitor. Istanbul, Turkey is a new visitor. Frederiksberg, Denmark, the 2nd visit. So it's kind of humbling to look through this and see how far around the world we get. And particularly gratifying to see people with 41 and 99 and 146 and 87 visits to our website. There's not a whole lot you can do on there other than buy parts or watch videos. So we have to believe that we're reaching people who are watching the videos. 393 visits.
Isn't that amazing? We always remark about some of this. We love you guys, man.
I don't think I've been on our website 393 times.
I know. How do you do it?
Well, it's kind of like me in Game of Thrones.
Oh, there you go.
I've been watching like 3-4 episodes every night.
That's right.
I've kind of fallen for the dragon lady.
The dragon lady's pretty cool.
Yeah. Even though she's a blonde, white chick, I would never do that. But
It's all about your persona.
and Piazant, I keep
Yes,
mentioning him. I'm
yes.
fascinated with him. He's a 74-year-old pharmacist, ex-pharmacist down in I can't even remember the name of his town. It's a suburb of Gonzales,
Louisiana, yes.
And Ed has built an S10, and he's just living the life.
He is,
going up and down the road with his foot on the pedal, and is quite a little thing locally.
Must be hunting season.
Must be hunting season. I miss church. Oh well, that happens. He keeps trying to tell me about Elio.
Okay.
And this is a little 3-wheel vehicle that is not electric at all. It's internal combustion.
Yeah.
And he keeps wanting to tell me about this. It sounds a little crackpot to me, but this week it broke out to Autoblog Green and spread from there. This guy's proposing to make a car with air conditioning and glass and a dashboard and everything, but a single-seater, 3-wheel jobber that he wants to sell for $6,800. Now, it's hard to take this seriously because none of the numbers work.
Oh, okay.
You can't make a car and sell it at a profit for $6,800 anymore.
Okay.
It's just not, it doesn't work. You can't really do a motor scooter. This is what got Vectrix twice. But he's got 15,000 paid reservations for it.
Oh my!
And swears it's coming out next year. My interest and Ed's interest is to buy one without the motorcycle engine in it, of course.
Oh, okay.
And do an electric version.
Okay.
And I think it's prettier than the Aptera was.
Yeah, it's at least it's not
It's
so
kind
funky.
of funky looking.
Yeah.
No, it is kind of funky.
Yeah,
looking.
but not spacey.
Not spacey.
Right. Yeah.
It's like real.
Yeah.
It's even, I think, much better looking than the Corbin Sparrow, for example.
Okay.
Let me put some photos up here, and you can take a look. But this is kind of a very nice design.
It's an interesting design. Yeah.
Now, who did I just mention is failing?
Vectrix. Yeah.
In other news, and we swoop in where others fear to bid on these liquidations and so forth.
Yes.
This kind of makes me feel bad. An executive with a senior executive of GP batteries. Some of you use little GB batteries. Well, that's
the Gold Peak Industries.
Gold Peak Industries is the mother company.
Yeah.
And his name is Andrew Ng.
Andrew Ng, yeah.
NG. You'll be surprised how I know how that's pronounced. But I had a good friend in the United States Navy who had the shortest name in the Navy, Ng. NG.
That's right, NG.
And he was killed one day. I actually covered for him on his watch so he could go to meet his wife at the zoo for kind of a date day.
Really? Oh, man.
And he got on his motorcycle and was killed right outside the gate of the base.
Oh, no.
There at Miramar Naval Air Station.
Down in San Diego, yeah.
And died.
Wow.
And his name was Ng, which gets us in the mood for this. This guy went up on the roof of the building and jumped and committed suicide.
Yeah, in Hong Kong. Wow.
GP is in bad trouble. Their stock is down to 56 cents, and they're not doing as well as a battery company. But I think he was involved in the bailout. The Vectrix motor scooter went bankrupt, and some people bailed them out and tried again, and they've gone bankrupt for the second time.
Okay, and you think maybe he was in on that second deal?
He was.
Okay,
actually.
okay, wow.
And they just announced a week ago that Vectrix is going into its second bankruptcy, and he has jumped off the roof.
Oh, man.
Taken the dive. And so that's the end of
Wow.
that. But it in times of technical innovation and dislocation, there are indeed winners and losers. The race for the gold mines, a lot of the pioneers get arrows in their back.
Yes, yes.
And the guys I like collect arrows. They have a display case at home and can trace back to every
Just put the bullseye on your back, get it over with.
every frontier for the last 50 years. And yeah, I didn't quite make it through that one, but made it back in this one. I lost it again in the next one.
That one kind of hurt.
But man, I scored on this one.
That's right.
No, it's gone.
Yeah,
I,
that's right, yeah.
I spent most of it on old fancy women. Maybe it was old women and fancy horses.
There you can't get that straight,
sexy
huh?
cards and young whiskey, fast whiskey, and the rest I just
The
squandered.
rest you just squandered, that's right.
And so, but some guys take it very seriously, and in fact, this gentleman lost his life over it. And so it is a fascinating game, but it is to some degree a game. If you get into it where it's causing you to lose perspective, you're truly lost. Got an interesting video. This has been, hadn't this been a good pace and a lot of interesting facts?
It has.
Let's take a break and wind down and relax to the
Set a spell, take your shoes off.
the spellbinding tones that I love to relax to from Mr. John Hardy of the United Kingdom. And I had made a prediction and an estimation on the Boeing battery issue,
Right. Yeah.
which he's pretty much proven me wrong.
Okay.
And so, and I don't mind, because we found out some very interesting things about these LiFePo4 cells, so you didn't really duplicate the same cells.
No, he didn't.
But let's take a look at what
at
happens to a LiFePo cell if you overcharge it just a little bit for a long, long time.
Okay.
You may remember a year or so back that Boeing had a problem with some 787s bursting into flames. Specifically, there were a couple of incidents where there was a fire in a lithium battery pack in the aircraft. In March of 2013, the American National Transportation Safety Board produced an interim factual report. It wasn't the final report, but produced an interim factual report which gave us some details of what had been going on. One of the things that appeared to be the case from the factual report is it looked like the lithium battery, which was running the APU, was actually being left on float charge at about 4 volts per cell. A critical feature of most lithium-ion charging algorithms is that they have a positive termination. This is a fairly typical charge curve, somewhat idealized. You've got a region of constant current, and then you have a region where the current's falling and the charge is maintaining the same overall voltage. But the critical thing you should note is that there comes a point during that process where the charger calls a halt. It says enough's enough, and ceases charging the battery altogether. So these cells are generally not float charged in the way that you might do with a lead acid cell. So a year ago, I took some spare headway cells that were still operational and made myself a 787 simulator. So this was some video that I took just about a year ago of setting all of that up. So this is the cell setup for the Dreamliner test. I've got 4 headway cells here, which previously were part of a larger pack. One of the other cells, not one of these cells, one of the other cells in the pack failed. Failed to keep adequate charge, so I terminated the test. But these cells are all good, and they've been cycled together without any form of balancing for several months, over close to 600 cycles, and then just thrown on the shelf for several months. And I'd like you to note that the voltages are all fairly close. That's 3.28, 3.29, 3.29, and 3.29. So they're all within 1/100th of a volt of each other, after essentially having been balanced once, cycled, bottom balanced, cycled 600 times, and then left on the shelf for some months. What I plan to do is deliberately abuse them by trickle charging them. So I've got a very simple charger here with an output of nominally 14.5 volt, although when I checked it was more like 15. That's about 3.8 volts per cell. These cells, many of them have been frequently up around that kind of voltage at the top of the charge cycle. But what I'm expecting with these is that if we leave them continually connected to that kind of voltage, then the cells will start to show some signs of distress. I'm not going to do this in the house. The cells are going in the flower bed. So that's it, cooking nicely now. I just checked the individual cell voltage while it's on charge, about 3.35 volts. So it's charging, and we'll just see what happens over a period of time. It should cook nicely. So I left the cells cooking nicely in the flower bed for a year, and on the anniversary of setting them up, I disconnected them, brought them inside, and checked them, and this is what I found. First thing to note is that all 4 cells were sitting at a voltage, even when they were disconnected, that was way above the normal open circuit voltage for cells of this kind. These are lithium iron phosphate cells, and the fully charged open circuit voltage should be about 3.38. So all of these cells were showing a voltage way above the normal voltage range. Well, you win some and you lose some. I was absolutely certain that these cells would be toast. So you can imagine my surprise when I hooked the thing up to a PowerLab 8 that Mike Schooling had very kindly lent me, and did a discharge on it. This is the discharge curve. It's at 2.5 amps. These are 10 ampere cells, so that's 0.25 C, roughly speaking, discharge. I got about 85% of the nominal capacity out of it, which, considering these had started life as used cells anyway, was not too bad. May have lost a bit of capacity, but broadly speaking, got a relatively normal looking discharge curve here. Well, I reasoned maybe they discharged alright, there's no chance they'll take a charge. Well, I was wrong again. This is what the charge code looks like. Again, at 0.25 C, same cell as I've just shown you the discharge curve for. Got a few odd kinks, but more or less it looks fairly normal. And again, it takes about 85% of nominal capacity. Well, I reason maybe they would work alright at 0.25 C. What happens if I hit them with, say, 2C? Well, this is a discharge curve for one of the cells at 20 amps 2C, and you can see it looks perfectly reasonable. Again, I got about 85% of the nominal capacity out on this discharge. So I thought maybe the cells have got internal shorts and things now, and are going to lose voltage quite rapidly. Well, once again, I was proved wrong. Here's monitoring the voltage after a discharge event, and you can see it just gradually creeps up again as these cells do, with no sign of it showing any sort of self-discharge. I've not given up, however. I think all I've managed to prove so far is that the lithium iron phosphate cells are built like the proverbial brick outhouse. I still think that there is a problem with attempting to float charge cells, so I'm going to try the experiment again with some lithium cobalt cells, which are the same chemistry as is actually used in the 787. And these cells, or 4 of them, will be going into the garden at some point in the next week or two. At the moment, I'm just sorting through them with the PowerLab 8, trying to figure out which of them is the best. On the blog, somebody had suggested using a slightly better power supply, more accurate voltage, so I've acquired this little gadget, which I hope will do the trick. I've also acquired a small USB temperature monitor, which I shall leave permanently hooked up, just in case there is some sort of thermal event. It would be useful to have the data for that. So that's about it. My 787 simulator has not been very successful so far, but I'm hopeful for some pyrotechnics from the lithium cobalt cells, which are very, very much less stable than the lithium iron phosphate. So check in about a year, and I'll give you an update on how I got on with the lithium cobalt.
Thank you, John. As always, fastidious
Yes.
and fascinating work.
Yes.
I can find nothing to fault you on that procedure. And I don't like headways anyway. But I think lithium cobalt cell at the voltages of their APU would put that to rest one way or the other. And I think I know which way. Still, Mr. Bream contacted me.
Oh, okay. Michael from EV West?
Yep.
Cool.
Mike and Matt,
Yep.
our buddies at EV West, are doing some fascinating things. Last week I mentioned that they had done a build for Mr. Eric Hall of the 818.
Right, right.
Well, I'd love to report that they've done another one from another Eric. But I should probably apologize for getting the guy's last name wrong. Let me let Mr. Bream tell you the story.
There we go. All right.
So about 6 months ago, Eric Hansen from 33 Machine approached us with an idea for a Factory 5818 project car that he wanted to build electric. We thought this would be a great idea for a project car and do essentially one of our first just ground up electric builds. We've recently completed the car, and after doing some testing around the facilities here, we decided to take it up to the track and see what we could do with it.
For instrumentation, I'm going to take a cue from Tesla and basically put a 10-inch tablet as the center console so that I have all my interactive functions, as well as some of the battery readout, GPS, stereo, everything will be controlled by that centralized tablet. So I'm looking for a real futuristic application of this car, not just a conversion of an older car into electric. This is something that is moving forward from the very beginning.
We really put a lot of time and energy into modeling this car up right. It's the first EV project where we start to finish actually put the car into SolidWorks and did CAD/CAM modeling so we could get the center of gravity really low in the car and also really central between the axles. So we actually improved upon the handling characteristics of the car. Well, that was great. We had a total blast at the track today. The car just handled spectacular. The low center of gravity was incredible. We're at about 1,700 pounds on the car. We're going to add the bodywork to it, and we'll probably still be just a touch under 2,000 pounds. I think that wraps it up for us. I'm Michael Breen with EV West, and thank you for watching.
So a smoking
Ooh,
token.
that looks like fun.
818.
Yeah, that looks like fun. A little chassis on the tracksy. Nice.
I was approached about 2 years ago from a gentleman representing Interdell Battery.
Okay, okay.
And they were trying to get rid of some very old, very tired, very unwarranted
Okay.
batteries that they had gotten from the Think vehicle bankruptcy.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Both Think and Interdell went bankrupt. Recall in those days, A123 would invest $30 million in Fisker, so Fisker would buy batteries from A123.
Right.
Both, by the way, being bankrupt
Yes,
today.
yes, both.
And acquired by, in the case of Fisker and A123, the same company, Wang Zhang.
Yeah, Wang Zhang, yes.
In the case of Interdell and Think, both acquired by the same guy or company who I don't recall, I have to report, but they're from the Soviet Union.
They're from Russia, right? Yeah,
Russia.
yeah, that's from Russia, yeah.
And they got that for 2 cents on the dollar.
Oh, it's a good deal.
I could have bought Interdell for
That's
the
a good
price
deal.
they paid. Anyway, Bremen Harbor are carrying now a 24 kilowatt battery pack built specifically for the HPEVS stuff, which is what they have in the 818.
In the 818,
for
yeah.
the Curtis 1239. That'll do up to 160 volts.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a 160 volt, 24 kilowatt pack, 140 volt, 4 volt system, although it's really the maximum voltage is 168. And that all works to charge it to that and then be under.
Let it be under. Yeah.
Max voltage, you
Yeah.
can operate the
Sure.
144 volt Curtis, which really goes up to 160 easily.
Okay.
And so they put together a battery pack for it. Now, we just sold 24 kilowatt better placed packs for. What were we charging for those?
3,600.
I've got a couple left, but I've got them priced at $69.95, and I was feeling kind of bad about that. But these guys are coming in at $13,299.
Okay, for the Interdell pack for you. Okay, wow.
About the same size, and the CA series is about 9,300.
Okay.
But yeah, Bremen Harbor partying like rock star.
Yeah, that looked fun. Track day out there. Yep.
So let's go to the EVTV EU
Okay.
and see what Anna Klupenberg is up with our electric vehicle warehouse in Amsterdam.
Cool.
Well, hey EVTV, this is Anna Kloppenborg with your weekly EVTV Amsterdam update. This week, I'll start with a little update on our warehousing activities. We have the Yang Min Vancouver on the way over the Atlantic with our long-awaited container full of Better Place packs and EVTV drivetrain components. It is now finally slated for Rotterdam on the 2nd of May. And we should have her all cleared in customs by the Monday thereafter, the 5th. This means I'll be finally getting in contact with all those Better Place pack buyers here in the EU, 4 of those packs going to Ireland, 2 going to England, and a few being dispersed here in the Netherlands, 1 staying at the shop and going into that little blue Beetle that we've had on before, and we'll be showing how we install an upgrade of packs from old GBS batteries to the Better Place. So finally getting those in and getting some Siemens sets, JEV-Qs, and a good dose of DC-DC converters and other related parts. This will be very important. Now, even before this arrives, we will probably next week have a quick air freight shipment, a couple of Borg Warner drives and some other components that we need quickly, and we will be shipping these by air freight with our new DHL service. We're going to be trying that out, seeing if we can get this 3 to 5 day delivery down and add it to our service options for those needing a quick fix or a quick replacement of a part here in the EU. This should definitely streamline the process. We've had 2 to 3 week delays even on air freight shipments and been overcharged something horrible in the past. So we're hoping this new contract will see us well and get stuff over here more quickly. Side note, one of the Borg Warners that we're bringing over so quickly is actually meant for Detroit Electric, that is now, or has actually really always been stationed here in Holland, former ECE cars, and they are building the SP1, a very Lotus-based sports car that is going to be in the $150,000 range, I believe, maybe 150,000 euro range, $200,000. Not exactly sure. We'll be going over there, hand delivering it, and seeing if we can get some scoop on that. The most scoop so far being that, production has been delayed for a year and then for another year, and now we're in year 3, and hopefully they'll get a car together this year with the UQM driveline at 200 kilowatts, I believe, and then using Borg Warners. So that's about it for our warehouse update. We are doing a little air shipment, so if you're seeing this on Sunday, Monday, and you think, oh, God, I need that one part and I need it quick, you could try us at sales at EVTV-Amsterdam.eu and or find us through Jack, and we'll see if we can add on your component, and otherwise we'll be able to give you a quote in future for 3 to 5 day delivery service. So that's it for our warehouse side. What about our EV conversion project updates? Last week I left you with the cabin cruiser and the engine having been removed. This week we got done with the grime section. We got a lot of bilge cleaner going down into that old engine compartment, and then using the correct loodmanie, we call it. It's a certain cover and paint that can go onto rust and stop it all from happening. And it came out really nice.
So look at that change. A lovely painted and sealed area where we can now install a motor and marine reverse system and have balanced weight of batteries on either side, enough room for the extra electrical components, and even leave some space for a freshwater tank that we can use to then run the kitchen area. this is going to be so much better than having beast of a diesel ruining your smell and taking up all that space while just serving to make a lot of noise, really. Looking better for the Joni.
So as you can see, a good bed for installing our warp DC motor and enough battery space to fill our heart's content. We'll be putting in the pack that originally went into the Glastron that then was a placeholder in the Nedcraft that is now actually powering a saloon boat that is waiting for a good dose of Better Place packs. And finally, it'll come to rest in our very own cabin cruiser. So we'll have about 27 kilowatt hours, 90 amp hour Winston batteries that'll be going into their fourth project, and hopefully there to stay a little longer. Then we will be needing a good marine reverse system. The one that came out with the diesel is really not very well suited to mating with our electric motor. It has the wrong kind of coupling set up that I wasn't expecting, and it's only a 2-to-1 ratio. And I'm really looking for something that's more like a 3-to-1. This means that when we're pulling out max power at about 800 to 1,000 RPMs on prop side, that will have about 2,500 to 3,000 RPMs on motor side. For our DC motors, we know that volts are RPMs, so once we have the higher RPMs, we don't need as much amps to make the kilowatts required to go that pace. And that means we'll be able to do it for longer. It's the amps that make the heat. And even though this is a relatively low power application for the warps, if you try and push, a 20 kilowatt at less than 1,000 RPMs, you'll definitely be overheating because you'll need a lot of amps to do that. So same kind of goes even with the HPEVS offerings, because they also have their higher continuous ratings at about 3,000 to 5,000 RPMs. Often this will mean coming up with some kind of reduction schematic for your boat to be able to use a efficient prop of decent size but not have it spin too fast in the water. Hey, that's our Joni Cruiser update, and she'll be looking better in the next couple of weeks once we decide on a marine verse. 818 Spaghetti. We left Raymond in a twist, and Jack and Brian advising him to just tie it around your neck and jump off already because it's going to kill you anyways. That was last week. Raymond had a bit of a breakthrough. So, last week's Ray turns into Smiling Ray. We have some life in the electricity. A ground fault problem has been solved?
Yes, it was in the beginning of the whole wiring diagram. It was here at the connector of the battery. I had to make some extra wiring to get it right. So
there you go. 818 starting to come alive, electrically, that is. In this case, proven by hazard lights.
Cool. Dangerous error.
So Raymond, tell me about the missing windshield wiper connector.
Yeah. You see, it works. It is there in the cable mesh, but it's working.
So the connector just decided to show up for work after being missing for a week?
Yeah. You have to spend a lot of time with
where are you,
wiring.
little connector? So it was hiding out behind the seats or something. But there it is. And we are ready to wipe some windshields once we have a windshield. And all the other stuff that we need first. It's good to know it's in there, man. Good to know. So there you can see a much happier Ray. Not only was he able to get that main contactor to switch over and the dashboard to come alive, he now even has the windshield wipers wiping away and is definitely looking a more happy camper as he goes forward in getting the whole wiring and the 12-volt low-volt system of this 818 based on Subaru Impreza parts going. We were updated by the importer Humming Performance this week that they have come up with a complete kit of European lighting. We already have a complete kit of lighting and wiring schematics as supplies by Factory 5, but in the infinite wisdom of the car gods, the European and American standards for lighting, for the color of your blinker indicator, for the amount of light that you put on your license plate, all these little things have different certification issues. So we need a completely European kit of lights and systems that fit with the car, that look good, but will actually pass certification. So we've got that whole kit scoped out for us. The Humming Performance guys are building a gas-powered version of the 818 as we speak, so they're also getting that same kit and in the same time ordering an extra set for us so that we'll be able to implement that and splice it into the wiring with all the connectors as needed. So that's the 818 update on this week. Wiring has come alive and European certification process has basically been started. We have a new project coming up that'll be Siemens based as well. A guy that we've been talking to for quite a while has jumped the gun, and he's bought a Jeep CJ5, newly deprived of its old-timer status. Here in Holland, we've had a reshuffle of rules, meaning that cars that are between 20 and 15 years old are now not always old-timers anymore and have come up for things like road tax and diesel tax and all kinds of good stuff that costs you money. This means that a lot of these beautiful cars from a great era, a lot of 4x4s with larger engines, are coming onto the market at dirt cheap prices because people can't afford them or don't want to afford them as extra car anymore, being that they're starting to cost a lot of money for very little use, whereas it used to be, you know, 50 to $100 for your old-timers insurance and no real road tax to speak of, and you're done. Well, this customer sees an opportunity to take certain vehicles with a lot of parts available that have a lot of passion but are now becoming too expensive to own and operate, and make an example of one, beautiful CJ5. I haven't seen it myself, but all I know is that it is very yellow. And he wants it converted by us, full conversion, to show in the area where he lives, where he sees a lot of these cars being used as, you know, anything from mommy shoppers to the fun side vehicle, so, you know, more like upmarket area here in Holland. He wants to show off how well this machine operates with the Siemens installed. So we're more than happy to oblige and looking forward to our first bona fide car conversion as commissioned by a customer that has his own vehicle. It should be a very exciting process, and it's a fun car to work on in the sense that it is readily accessible, and we don't have a lot of climate control issues or computer issues to deal with. So we have you know, more of a certain outcome in that sense that as long as we get the mechanics and the electrics of the drivetrain right, this car will do what it needs to do. It'll be a nice challenge, but if we're going to get this Siemens system, and if we're going to get the Siemens in the 818, if we're going to get them on the road here in Holland, we can't do what we did with the boats, which is just basically install them and go. Because, as mentioned before, we have this wonderful car certification system that is not very accessible at all. The Dutch EVTV is kind of known as the high water mark for difficulty in entrance to market. If you can get a car past the Dutch EVTV, it is generally seen that you'll get a car through European certification systems just about anywhere in the EU. The UK has it just about the easiest, so we've already been serving them with HPEVS systems, and I believe a couple of Siemens systems are in the makes right now, and they'll get certified no problem. But if we are to offer these systems here in the EU, we're going to need to be the owner of our own certification set while we sell either the complete drivetrain or install them for our customers. So in order to be able to offer these systems and be able to have a path forward in certifying our own 818 for road legal EV grins, we now have an appointment at the local chapter with the TUV Rhineland. TUV Rhineland is, I think, Europe's premier institute for EMF and EMC certifying. They do all kinds of stuff. I mean, from fabrics that want to get to the market to complete car systems. They're your man, and they're the official partner of the Dutch RDW. Oops, there goes my phone. They're the official partner of the Dutch RDW, so being able to show a certification from TUV is basically our access to the European car market with these systems, and definitely a big deal. Today, actually, in conjoint with our partners Rebel that we've seen before on the show, the AC75 system with the Curtis 144 volt system is going through its base testing. They've made basically a metal covering for the Curtis controller that also contains the pre-charge relay. There's definitely shielded and grounded cabling going all around, and the first reports from this morning were encouraging that this system will meet the EU requirements and also be able to go forward and become road legal. All of this means that probably by June of this year, we'll be able to offer a complete Siemens system, a complete HPEVS system with the Curtis, and include our own European certification to make this project road legal and viable for other people to do as well. We weren't able to, of course, use the certification that was already given on the Siemens DMOC combo for Azure Dynamics, as they had gone belly up, and if they had not, it would be questionable if they would allow us to use their certificates. Okay, guys, we had a bit of a battery mishap there once again. I'm good at charging the vehicles, not that good at charging the cameras. Hey, I think you guys basically got the message there. TUV Rhineland is our path towards certification so that from starting this summer, prospective car builds, whether using the HPEVS or the Siemens offering from EVTV, will also have a path towards road legal certification. Now, that's definitely going to open up a lot of possibilities for builds, together with the good EVTV components that are now coming down the pipeline. I say we have a bright electric future ahead of us. And on that cheesy note, I'll keep building, you all keep building, and I'll catch you next week. Bye-bye.
Well, I like all of that. Like I say, all of a
Anna's
sudden
been busy.
He's doing video and doing a lot of stuff. He's got a commission to do his first full build.
Yes.
On a
the Jeep, the CJ
cool
or whatever.
Jeep.
Yeah, that's a nice looking Jeep. Yeah, yeah. I didn't realize all of the taxation and stuff and road taxes. Now they're going to get it on older cars. Man,
the Siemens zone. Well, you know, it's like
Yeah.
here we got a 25-year thing. Apparently they had a 15.
Yeah.
And they raised it to 20, which puts 5 years of vehicles out in the cold for 1 to 5 years.
1 to 5 years. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And so makes them cheaply available for these kinds of projects. More startling, I thought, was his pursuit of EU approval.
Yes, the certification.
The certification
Yes.
of the HPEVS and the Siemens,
And the Siemens, yeah.
drive systems. We had hoped that somehow the Azure Dynamics was approved for the eTransit Connect.
Right.
We had hoped that would kind of
grandfather or piggyback a little.
Yeah, it's not going to.
Isn't going to happen. No. Wow.
Now here's the problem. It's not a big thing. They're strict over there about certain things. I mean, like your tire tread, they don't let you on the road. They don't license your vehicle if you don't have enough tire tread.
Right.
It's not like here where Baldies work fine.
Right, right.
They inspect things very carefully. The problem is that for some certifications, it costs money.
Yes.
You know, now $4,000 or $5,000 is not a terrifying prospect for Anna or for us at this
Sure.
stage. It's kind of like doing the Cadillac Escalade, though. You can't. There's things I can't do because it's one car.
One car, yeah, to do a one-off, yeah. It's just undoable.
I mean, I would never pay $5,000 to have an inspection done on the Escalade because
Yeah, see if it's roadworthy.
I'm only going to do one. If I
Right.
was going to make them and convert Escalades for people,
Sure.
it would be worthwhile because it's spread across.
Yeah, you could
however many I
amortize it
do.
over some more vehicles, yeah.
So Anna is getting these 2 drivetrains done to use in cars or boats, and he gets a certificate. Well, he can get the benefit of his work there.
Yes.
He ships you the motor, the controller, the JivQ, and the piece of paper.
Yes.
And when you go to license it, that piece of paper saves you about $5,000.
Yes, right, right. From what, the TUV or whatever they're getting it from.
Well,
yeah.
the TUV is the
Is that the
that's
testing
like,
house?
That's like our UL.
Yeah.
It's a testing
Yeah.
facility.
Yeah.
But the inspection of the vehicle, they're not going to test your emissions.
No.
They want to see your paper.
Right,
Where
right.
you paid for somebody else to test
Right,
it.
right, that they know.
That's the gig.
Yeah, they can put it in the binder with the car.
And so
Yeah.
he can give you the paper.
That's right.
And so as soon as they see the paper, then you're good.
You're
to go.
good, yeah.
You know, there's other things like they had to get a special lighting system for the 818.
Yeah, for
'cause
the
our
Euro.
lights don't
Yeah.
work there.
Yeah, for the European.
And
Yep, cool.
so that's the sort of thing. But I thought it was fascinating that he had immediately grasped that. And of course, he has a big shipment of stuff going to arrive May 2nd.
Yes.
Including the Better Place battery.
Yeah, he's got a lot of stuff.
He's
It's gonna
got
be
10 of
amazing.
them. I don't know how he. You know, it wasn't a build, but he had done a repair on a little blue bug.
Yeah, the buggy did.
And
Yep.
he's going to try to get those 3 modules out of one of those Better Place packs in the bug.
That'd be pretty cool, yeah.
And that'll be quite a bit of battery for that car.
Yes.
But it'll go far if he gets it done. And so that's that. What else? Where's my list?
I think we're down to the Ghia. I think.
Yes. What's going on with Ghia?
Well, the last couple of weeks, we've been doing, they've seen it all. We've been doing benches, we've been working on stuff. We've been busy. And the Karman Ghia has not been neglected as much as you might think. So let's have an update.
Very good.
Okay. All right, good afternoon. The church bells are ringing here in Cape Girardeau. It actually must be barely afternoon as the gong strikes 12 in Cape Girardeau. Thought we would give you a little bit of a Ghia update. You know, last week you kind of saw what we were dealing with putting the benches together, getting the things ready for the Reinhardt and the Scott Drive and the dual, the Siemens, Siemens, and the UQM stuff and the JivQ. So we've been kind of busy the last couple of weeks really dealing with that. You know, the battery sales for that, the AC35. So, you know, thanks a lot for all your support. It's left our project a little bit in the lurch over here, kind of sitting by itself. But we have been making progress. You know, I could show you wiring and stuff like that, but what we did, and we probably talked about this before, where we actually filled up some of the air, is we ran a conduit, a PVC pipe from the front of the car up into the rear under the shift coupler, and we ran 2 heavy cables that are going to take our pack voltage up forward in the front of the car. They'll also feed to the air conditioning system, to the hot water heating system for our environmentals. They'll connect up to the charge port. So that having those wires running, you should always think about that in your projects. Is, you know, what you really don't want to do is have wires running under carpets. You know, we've got a couple of sense wires that we need. They're going to carry pack voltage from the shunt in the rear of the vehicle in the motor compartment up into the cabin. Now, there's not much to it, but it is pack voltage, and you don't want to forget little wires like that and then have to run them under the carpet or do things like that where they might get chafed, or you think about them at the last minute and you don't put them in you know, wire loom and split loom. You know, we try to put whatever we can, especially the builds that we're not using as a test vehicle. You know, this will be a finished project and hopefully we won't have to change things out. So we like to run all the wiring as cleanly as we can, put everything in the split loom, put stress relievers, gland nuts, put, you know, pass-throughs when we're going through, you know, firewalls or any of the sheet metal, just so things don't chafe. So we ran some 10 gauge wire, we ran some 1 gauge wires through there for the positive and negative. We ran some 18 gauge wire. We ran a couple of bell wires. When you're doing the JLD404, it's a little easier to deal with it if you don't have multi-stranded wires. If you use something like a bell wire or a single strand wire, a fairly thin one, because then it's just so much easier to get them into the little slots in the backs of those gauges. So again, we're going to run small wires. So we ran, you know, 8 to 10 wires through there of varying gauges in pairs and all of different colors, so that if we need them, we've got them. If we don't, they're there. And at this point in time, if we need any additional wires, we can go ahead and put them in. Yesterday, for instance, we realized that one of the pairs was already going to be used for something, and that would have taken us down to maybe 3 pairs, excuse me, of our 18 gauge wire. So we ran a couple more. We also noticed that we had an odd number. That doesn't make sense in case we needed to run a ground or do something else. So we're trying to think ahead. And, you know, I know a lot of you do in your projects, and sometimes, to be perfectly honest, I haven't thought about it. So we're trying to do this, and then we're going to wire this, our low voltage in our heads, and then put it down on paper so that we can see where all these are going. We also put, we're starting to clean up the little rat's nest, if you will, that is our stock fuse block. You know, since 1974, a lot of people have played with that, added things to it, subtracted things. There's wires just hanging around. So we're looking at just cleaning that up, because we're not going to have a brake system warning light, or we're not going to have a seatbelt warning light. I'm trying to figure out if I really want to even deal with the rear windshield defroster. I may. So we're just kind of looking at all that and looking at some of the other switches that we're going to do, because we're getting ready, I think, to get the dash in. We're done with the interior of the car, cover it, but we've also got to make sure that we don't poke any holes through the wood grain that we want. They're going to look kind of ugly. So, you know, we're just kind of thinking about all of those types of things. We had a little minor setback, and I'm going to talk about lights here in a second, but our switch, we waited a few weeks. They were out of stock for the headlight switch. Our headlight switch and our flasher switch were not in that good a shape, so we went ahead and bought new ones. The headlight switch was out of stock on most of the VW sites. CIP or J-Bugs, I guess, and maybe California Import Parts and Karman Ghia Parts and Restorations. Yeah, it's a $30 switch, but it just wasn't available. So we rigged it in, and we've done a lot of testing. We, talked to you about some of the lighting issues we had, and so today we went to just do a little testing, and the switch basically fell apart in our hands. We're a little hesitant to take the switch out and have all the wires just dangling around, so we had to order a new switch for the headlights. So we have been a little bit little strained, but I did want to talk to you a little bit about lights, we've had some, and just particularly bulbs. You know, we put the truck light LED headlights in this vehicle, and they're really cool. We put them on, I think we put them in the Cobra. I think we've got them on the Thing. We put them on this car. You know, before that we were using HIDs, or using the, you know, the high intensity discharge lights that a lot of people use, and they kind of look at different colors and things. But the LEDs use even less less current than the HID ones do. So we've kind of gone to those. They're expensive, but they're pretty cool, and we do have those in the store. The other thing that we do with most of the vehicles, and Jack and I have been doing this for a number of years, is trying to change out all of the little incandescent bulbs to LED lights. And it's been kind of frustrating, because we've found a lot of different lights, and we get them from, most of them from China, gotten some from US suppliers, but there's been issues. And I don't even remember if this was something that we filmed, but it would have been way back in the day, and I don't think we did, was we put some 1157 and 1156s in the very first Speedster, when it was a Speedster OG, before it was a Speedster Redux. And let me just give you, just so you know, and some of these bulbs are still being used, in cars, in vehicles. There are some different configurations in terms of the plug, but a lot of them, what you're going to see is 1157 and 1156. The 1157 bulb is a 2-element bulb, so you're going to use that in the places where you have, let's say in the front, where you have a running light and a turn signal in this particular car, and they're on the same bulb. In this vehicle also, the turn signal in the rear and the brake light are on the same bulb. So they're basically a 2-filament bulb. With an LED, you don't have to worry about that. It's just it's a single LED in this case. The way you can tell, though, if it is an 1157 versus 1156 when you take out your stock one, is, and this is difficult to see, but I think maybe on the website we've kind of shown you this, the pins are, you've got one pin on the bottom and one pin just up slightly from that, a few millimeters on the other side, 180 degrees. It also has 2 elements on it, and that is for your one when the light comes on the first time, and the second when you need power for the second filament, and that's your 1157. So again, that's a combination bulb. 1156, both of the tabs are in line with each other, 180 degrees apart, but in the same plane, and you have a single element in the 1156 bulb. So this is just going to be used in 1156 where you have a single light being operated, like just the running light or just the turn signal, whatever. Different vehicles are configured different ways with these lights. What's cool is, we've gone through a lot of different LED lights, the multi ones that have 30 different LEDs, and they're just all over the place, big, long lights. And it's gotten now to where, and we've had them in the store for a while, where we're just kind of looking at, except for the heat sink for the LED, just your normal automotive looking bulb with a glass bulb around it, and the LED lights in it. So, we've been using these, and we've had these in the store now for quite a while, maybe a year or so. We've had LED lights, and they've been fairly expensive. I think that, for a, I don't know, maybe our 10, 20 watt bulbs, and I think these are 20s, they were, $19.95. They were close to $20, $16.95, just depending. So we found a new source, and we're able to get these lights much less expensively, and we're able to pass that along to you. So we have these lights now for $9.95 in the EVTV store. We stock both the 1156 and 1157s. What I like about these lights is they pretty much have a, that's not 360 degrees, but it isn't focused at all, the light. It does look cool. We do have some focused ones, and it kind of gives you kind of a cool high-tech look to use them, maybe as reverse lights or something. But this is really the way that the bulbs were made to were made to disperse the light and display in a more, not 360 degrees, but around the lens, so that you can see these lights. So take a look at them in the store and see if that makes sense. What else we've been doing this week is, we got a new steering wheel. We've got a whole bunch of stuff for this car, and we got that steering wheel. Oh man, we got a banjo steering wheel for us. One maybe for a boat and one for a Ghia. And the adapter hub was incorrect. And these are pretty good adapter hubs. These are either flat 4, they might have come through ISP. I think that the banjo steering wheels are flat 4, which, if you remember, is a Japanese company that had bought a lot of the parts catalog from EMPI, the early VW stuff. I believe that they are associated now with Moon products. They may even own them. So they have taken a lot of parts that we haven't seen in a long time being manufactured. The BRM Speedwell wheels and the shifter that from the inch pincher that you've seen they were going to put in this car, and just a lot of really cool VW parts, and I believe some hot rod performance parts in the Moon product line, and have brought them back to life. The adapter, however, is made by another company, and this was no fault of theirs at all. We ordered the adapter for a 1974 Karman Ghia. Well, apparently in 1974, they knew that was the last year of the car, and they changed the steering column. They went to a little different steering column. It was shorter and a smaller diameter steering column. So we just went to put the adapter over it, and it just, well, what in the heck is going on? It just doesn't fit. So we made a call out to the guys at ISP, and they said, oh, you've got one of the ones that have the later mid-year change steering column. So they sent us a new one out, and we are good to go now with our steering wheel. But again, those are the things that you need to always consider. I mean, especially on an older vehicle, is that people have messed around with them. You may have parts from other cars on your vehicle. You may have some custom parts on there. You may have split years where the manufacturer 40 years ago did something different that barely anybody remembers. So that's what we just did. Also, one other thing that we just might want to talk about is, and if you haven't checked, these are kind of cool. We are carrying the GigaVac parts direct now from GigaVac, and we have their contactors, which would replace your standard 12 volt contactor. Let's say in a Tyco or TE, that's the LEV200, I think AAA, NA. We've got those in the store. Well, what we also have, and I'm going to use in this car, and we had also already spec'd it out for another switch, another maintenance switch, is the GigaVac switch, and this is the HBD41AA. I kind of like this. This is hermetically sealed. I always like to say hermetically sealed. It also locks in the off position. It's got a little hole where you could actually you just want to put a zip tie through it, or you want to put this is what we spec'd out over here, which is a great maintenance switch. It's just this one's different and kind of cool. And we sell these in the store. We also sell the other guest switch, the marine products, and they're actually pretty cool. But we just thought we'd do something different. So these can lock. You can kind of see this push up and down when it's engaged. Kind of rolls down in there. This, I believe, and I'm going to have to read it again. This is the GigaVac HBD41, and in this case the AA. What do we have here? So we've got a voltage test for a minute, 5,000 volts. I think that's going to put us well within what we need for the operating voltage, 1,000 volts DC. Continuous carry, 400 amps, overload 1 minute, 2,000, and make and break cycles, 5,000 cycles. It's a pretty cool switch. Plus, I believe on the store we have it for $89.95. So, you know, we're getting parts now that are as good as the other parts that we had. You know, the Gigavac, Tyco, you know, which one's better, which one's worse. It really seems like Gigavac is trying to make a move and to get into the EV space and into actually the conversion market space as well, the custom electric vehicle market. They're very easy to deal with and for us to work with. So we've got their switch again in the store for $89.95, I believe it is. So that puts you up to date with the Ghia. We've done work inside of it in terms of wiring. We're going to do some more checks, but I think that we've got enough done now around the shop. We had to test benches and things like that that we needed to work with. You know, the JEVQ, you know, obviously those are, you know, big, you know, advancements forward for the custom electric vehicle market in terms of the quality of the parts, the OEM parts that we're able to acquire now and to get to you, our viewers. And just bear with us. The Ghia will be done, but I just wanted to let you know we'll get a new switch and put it in there. A couple of you guys did respond to the show a couple of weeks ago when we talked about our LED issues, which was that we had one in the rear and our 1156 in the rear and 11 for the turn signal and 1157 in the front, and that we couldn't get it to work with two LEDs. We have an incandescent bulb in the front and an LED in the back, and they both work fine. Some of you had suggested, and I did, and I don't know if this is one of them. I don't think it is. This is just a regular flasher. But to try to go to an electronic flasher, we did. We bought two of them, and hoping that one would work. And in fact, we wanted to put it in the store, and it didn't work. It didn't solve the problem. It made it a tiny bit better, but it did not work. So I know you guys are listening intently to the show. We're still having an issue with the flasher. I would love to have LED bulbs in that front position and a 1157 bulb up there for the running light as well as the turn signal. But I still am having issues with being able to put two bulbs on that particular circuit. So that is the Ghia update for right now. I'm pretty excited, actually. The rest of our batteries came in. I've sold them twice. And one time they got a balanced set of 25 batteries. So I've sold my 48 battery pack, half of it twice. So excuse me for that. So we've got to do some bottom balancing. But we are moving forward. We've had some progress. The Cobra is on the rack this week, and we're going to see what we can do with that, with its having its new Warp Industrial in there. So there's been some projects laying around, and we're just kind of cleaning up the shop of some of the vehicles and things like that, because we need to have as many of these vehicles operational come the week of August 12th this year for the Electric Vehicle Conversion Convention. So we're ready to party. We want to race. We want to burn some rubber and do some fun stuff out there. And the weather is beautiful here in Cape Girardeau, and driving vehicles that are top down right now are pretty cool. And we get this one on the road. Who knows when we'll need air conditioning or heating first, but we will have air conditioning and heating in this.
So, are these the bulbs?
Those are the bulbs. Yes, exactly.
I always get this confused. Is this an 1156 or 1157?
That is an 1156, having the single
The
pole.
1156 has one contactor and two tits that are at the same level
Yes.
on the thing.
Yes.
The 1157 has two contacts, and it has the same two tits, but one of them's offset.
One of them's offset, yes.
And that's what 99% of the cars, and certainly the older cars
Yes.
in the U.S. use. Now there's a whole bunch of later made sockets these still work in them.
Yeah, right.
They have different numbers.
There's different numbers, yeah.
I've been getting some of these on eBay and just carrying them in the store. I have found a China supplier. We got these and tested them. These are 20 watt.
Yes, they are.
They have 5 genuine Cree chips in them, and they're bright.
They are. No, they're really bright.
They're much brighter than the incandescents while using much less of your precious battery pack energy. And we not only highly recommend them, but now at $9.95.
Yes.
I think we were charging 18 or 19 for the previous
we
ones.
were having to do, I think, one of them 16, 17, the other one $20. Yeah.
Yeah.
We found a good source.
We've got a source for them. We can get them and sell them at a profit at $9.95. Again, the usual trick, we have to buy a Brazilian of them. So
A warehouse full.
We hope you care.
Please, help us out.
Or it's going to be another one of these things where I wind up with a box full of 150 or something.
That's right.
Of
But
each.
a million of them.
And but that's, kind of, and why is this a big deal? We've been chasing these for years.
Oh, yeah.
And we've tried a lot of them.
Oh, we tried all types of bulbs.
We've had them where we had to actually take a file
Yes, in the
and make
Speedster
2
OG.
contacts out of the bottom.
Yes.
They would all kind of work, but they wouldn't fit in the sockets right.
Yeah.
They'd either be too loose or too tight. You couldn't get them in without
yeah.
breaking the glass.
Yes.
Or something.
Yeah.
As simple a thing as that is, I bet I've tried 30 different bulbs, most of which went in the trash before
Yeah.
5 minutes into the deal.
Yeah, we just couldn't use them. Nope, that isn't going to work. Those big
And,
long ones with all the LEDs on them. God, we've had everything.
Yeah.
Different colors.
We've had them work great and go right in the socket. Of course, you can't put a lens cover over them
Yes,
because
you
they're
have to
6.5
drill a hole
inches
for the
long.
drill a hole for the lens.
And so that's the other little thing going on in the store is a Gigavac. Gigavac had been kind of an alternate and a little bit lost alternative to the Tyco Kilovac.
All right.
They have apparently enjoyed sufficient success that they've decided to focus on this a little bit.
Yes, on the EV market. Yes.
We have been using somewhat successful some maintenance switches from the marine industry. And they're heavy, and I think they're kind of pretty.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they're not precisely rated for the voltages we're doing. And I did arc one and was unable to turn it off.
We
on
did
the Cobra.
on the Cobra. Yeah, we did weld one.
Was it on the Cobra? Yeah,
In the Cobra we welded one. Yeah.
So we've been looking around. Gigavac shows up just in time. This is their HBD 41. We're charging $89.95 for this, which I don't think I make much money at. But it will channel 400 amps continuously, 2,000 amps for up to a minute, which means any car, including the Escalade.
Yeah, that's right. It can handle
This
it.
would work.
Yeah.
And 1,000 volts DC. And it's not exactly gorgeous, but it's kind of cool looking. And it has a very definitive off and on. And here's what I like about this. And in industrial electronics, this is not uncommon. This is off. You can tell it's off because it says off and the pointer points to it. The other ass end of off has 2 little holes.
Yes.
That's where you put the
padlock.
padlock.
Or the zip tie or something.
so that not only is it off, but while you're working on the car, somebody can't come along and say, "What the hell is this?
Why is it off? While you're under
Was
there.
that off?"
That's right.
This
Sorry,
is-
dude.
This is technically called tagging in the Navy. Anytime we turned a circuit off, we had to tag it. And when we were done with maintenance, we had to go get our tag back. And if you weren't working on an airplane and you didn't get your tag back, somebody picked your tag up and came and wrote you up.
Oops.
And so that is to enforce that circuits are off, tagged off, with safety wire.
Sure.
Kind of like a padlock. and then that you retrieve them when you're done and don't leave it locked when you're done with maintenance. This is their direct go at the Tyco Kilovac.
Yeah, like the LEV200, yeah.
The ANA series.
Yep, the ANA series, yeah.
This is their GV200MA. We're carrying it at $129, mostly because that's what we were getting for the Tyco Kilovac. And we are no longer going to carry the Tycos. I've got a few laying around.
Yeah, we have a few, yeah.
We're going to carry this at $129. Actually, a little better specs. This is rated for a continuous current rating. Well, it's a little complicated. 400 amps if you're using 4.0 cable, and 500 amps if you're using cable 400 MCM. I'm not sure what the difference is, but 400 amps continuously, it'll do 3,000 amps up to 60 seconds, and 1,000 amps up to 300 seconds.
That's a stout little puppy.
For most vehicles, this is fine. It's, let's see, what's the voltage rating on it? Well, they list brake currents at up to 750 volts, so they apparently believe you can do that. It will break 1,980 amps at 350 volts, which is about, and of course more amps at lower voltages, and that's about where we're going to go. It lists 1,320 amps for 750 volts, but probably not going there, but we're doing a lot of 350 volt work. This will shut off 1,980 amps, and it'll do that at least 2 cycles.
Okay, there you go. You get 2 shots at it?
You get 2 shots. So this replaces the Tyco Kilovac at about the same price. I think a little better specifications. I don't know why I carry this. It just tickles my whimsy. The Gigavac GX 110 BE.
Yes.
This monster is $849.
It is.
But it does 1,000 amps continuously.
Yes.
4,000 amps for up to 20 seconds. It's rated for 800 volts DC. Costs $849. We got into a lot of stuff with particularly the Tycos on what the coil voltage was.
Yes.
This has a very wide 9 to 36 volts coil. These are 12 volt, goes from 8.5 to 16. And these are 9 to 36. In both cases, I have on several occasions talked about suppression diodes because of the effect of the coils on the wanting to maintain current causing voltage spikes.
Yes.
Both of these internally are actually switched by a field effect transistor, an FET. So you don't have a coil effect.
Oh, okay.
There's not precisely a coil.
Right.
I suppose there is, but it's controlled by a FET, so any coil voltage spike can't get back to the input.
Okay, okay.
And destroy your stuff.
Yes.
And so that's
nice.
Why.
That's pretty cool.
And that's pretty much what's going on there. So we're kind of going to be a Gigavac house. We're also a Messier fuse.
Merson, yes.
Fuse dealer now. But we're going to be carrying these as our cutoff switches and our contactors in the future, and rotate out the. We'll sell the Tycos till we run out of current stocks. Yep. But this is the future of switches and relays for high voltage work, and so that's what we'll have. What am I forgetting?
I think we nailed it, Jack.
Excellent, excellent. I love it when we get through all of it.
When we nail it.
Spirits. Stay with us till next week. I do have the thing rolling.
Yes.
For some reason, the
Thing is roll.
J1772 charger's not working.
That's what I thought that
And
it
I've
wasn't
got
on.
got
Yeah.
a taillight issue.
Yeah.
But beyond that, we'll get those worked off. I've also ordered something. Here, let me show you a bit of video on this, maybe. It's a quadcopter with a Hero video camera
Oh, yeah. Cool.
to do cool aerial shots like Elon did with the SpaceX thing. Well, if Elon's got one, I kind of got to have one too.
That's it.
Let me show you this video of the DLSR Flavus Flavin.
Okay. Quadricopter on
video
board.
package. Con Cinema version 2.
Okay.
DSLR Pros is proud to announce the all-new Cannes Cinema Edition kit for the Phantom II. As a natural follow-up to the success of the Ultimate Cinema Edition kit, the Cannes Edition builds upon the new Phantom II quadcopter. At the core of the kit is the combination of the H3 2D gimbal and GoPro Hero 3 Plus. With a redesigned battery and high-efficiency upgraded motors, the Cannes Edition Phantom II provides an extended flight time of over 20 minutes. The new form factor of the battery allows it to snap into place, and to turn it on, simply press the start button. The Cannes Edition kit comes with 4 5200 mAh batteries, providing ample time to fly and shoot before needing to recharge. The kit comes with 2 separate chargers to allow multiple batteries to be charged at once. All new 9-inch carbon fiber props and prop guards have been completely redesigned to provide maximum efficiency, safety, and flight time. The Cannes Edition Phantom II comes paired with the DSLR Pro's Futaba transmitter, providing dramatically increased range, superior gimbal control, and optimized radio programming. Directly mounted on top is the new removable flat-profile long-range FPV monitor, allowing real-time remote viewing of the camera's image. Featuring an enormous 7-inch screen with integrated diversity receiver, the system comes with 2 separate antennas, automatically switching between the two for the strongest signal. In addition, the kit comes with a set of all-new FPV goggles, designed to work simultaneously with the monitor. The IOSD Mini provides live telemetric flight data, while the data link radio allows waypoint navigation and ground station control. Every element of the Cannes Phantom II kit fits inside the DSLR Pro's custom redesigned tough case, providing waterproof, crush-proof protection for your Phantom that allows the 9-inch props to remain installed, yet is small enough to fit in the overhead compartment of an airplane. The Cannes Edition Phantom II kit is the most comprehensive upgraded Phantom kit available, designed to maximize value, performance, and flight time while minimizing downtime.
So,
That's pretty cool.
here's the deal.
What?
You got to learn to fly.
That's what I was going to say. can
Somebody has to
pilot
drive
drones?
the thing. Somebody's got to like fly the camera.
I know. While doing something.
That would be
All right. Sounds like fun.
start the music. Let's go home.
All right, Maestro.
We'll see
your
you all
cue.
next week. It's just going to get to be more fun every week.